Hello, hello. This is going to be an investigative tarot into Taylor Schabusiness. She has been found guilty of murdering her lover during a drug-filled romp, SAing his unalive body, and then chopping off his head, which she left in a bucket in the basement of his home. So I just want to see, obviously she's guilty. She's been found guilty and has, you know, explained what happened to authorities. I'm not going to go into that detail. You can watch the interviews if you would like. I watched a little bit, pretty gruesome. So it's not looking into what happened really. I'm going to look into that a little bit, but I want to look into what happened to her that made this what happened to him, if that makes sense. This is an energy reading and it's all alleged, my opinion, not fact. So right away, 4 of Pentacles reversed and 4 of Cups reversed. There was never a solid foundation for her, and this tends to make me believe that she never really valued herself, and so she wasn't able to really value others. 4 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles. I'm wondering if there was some kind of death in the family that triggered her to repress her emotions, and or just no support from family. It's something that feels like a great loss to her in terms of family. So just the family dynamic that she always wanted she never had, or it could be from a particular person or event. Oh, the Tower reversed, King of Swords reversed, King of Wands reversed. So she definitely is scared of someone. It's like, I'm trying to avoid having this king go from hurting me with his words to hurting me physically. So, and the Tower in between is like the fine line. So it's like when she was younger, there was definitely a line that was in the sand with someone where they would kind of verbally abuse her to some point, and then maybe if she stood up for herself or fought back or whatever the other person's trigger was, it was like, once that happened, it went into something physical instead of just verbal. Correct, yeah, 8 of Wands. It like quickly, like it's like things would go, and then if it crossed the line, it was like boom, like real quick. Look, it's like kneel down to me type energy too. It's like almost like luring an apology out of her for the other person's own behaviors or actions or something along those lines. Yes, luring it out of her. Ace of Pentacles reverse would be taking something back. So like, you take that back right now, or you know, some kind of retribution for something that was said, or maybe just asking someone to stop. This isn't making any excuses for her, obviously, but I'm trying to see where her trauma came from and then see how it related into what actually happened here with Shad. So why is it that she never healed from that? The Empress, the Hermit. It's like she was trapped inside of her own mind and nobody really cared enough to even, or to ever like try and let her out of it. But she never really gave anyone the chance either. Yeah, Magician in reverse. She became very deceptive because at first it was like, I have this pain that I'm trying to hide because I feel like it's something I should hide from people. And then it's like she taught herself how to just be deceptive, and then that's just the energy that she was in. Queen of Cups. She played on people's emotions because it was like almost like she was trying to figure out how people, like how regular people their emotions worked, so she could figure out what was going on with the person that she was struggling with and why they were having such a hard time with her. Devil reversed. Yes, she was trying to figure out this person. And it's like through doing that, she taught herself how to just be a complete manipulative, strategic, manipulative, play on emotions when it comes to like kind of like getting off on being able to redirect someone's psyche. It's almost like she enjoys, because of what was done to her, she enjoys feeling like she has someone else's brain on some kind of like video game controller. Hierophant reversed. Having someone's mind on like a video game controller. This would be like an organization you know about. This is like, I'm trying to do it in secret. And that's what it was. It was like obsession when it came to that. The world. It was obsession when it came to that. It was obsession in trying to understand people, like why people treated her so differently. Because it was like one person really harmed her or injured her, and then after that it was like just revenge on the world. And then when she became obsessed with someone, it was like she didn't become obsessed with them because of who they were or how they made her feel or anything like that. She became obsessed with people that she felt like she could use to kind of take revenge out on the world. A soldier for her, yeah. Like almost like her hate could speak through another person, because of how her pain came to be, or because of whatever it was that was done to her, she didn't feel confident enough to speak her pain for herself. So it's like she had to speak it through other people. An angel, temperance, she had to speak it through other people. It says part man, part woman, an angel, 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land. She couldn't speak it for herself. She had to get other people to speak her hate into the world. But it wasn't even just hate. It was like studying. Studying what? Queen of Pentacles reversed. Studying almost like how it was to destroy somebody else's life and have nobody stand up for them. It's almost like the male figure that hurt her, right? But then also there's like this feminine energy that never stood up for her or stopped whatever was going on, allegedly, in my opinion. And it's almost like she wanted to bring other people down, like Shad. Like, I want to bring you down so other people can like not be nice to you, so that I can just not stick up for you and see how that feels. Yeah, 2 of Wands. I want to figure it out. I want to take this path. I want to discover. I want to... It's weird. It's like something when she was young, because of whatever she went through, snapped in her psyche. And this is like a plan she came up with during childhood. Like, in her psyche, I want to take revenge by, like, ruining someone's life like this male does to mine, and then not sticking up for the person like the feminine does to me, and then I'll figure out why this happened to me. It's like that happened. That was a conversation that happened in her mind during childhood. And then it's like she grew up, kind of forgot about it, but her subconscious never did, and was enacting this whole plan the whole time. She didn't know it was there. This is doubt, self-doubt. She didn't know it was there, but it was. It was this lion just like waiting to erupt. And so essentially she wanted to have people perceive Shad in the way that they perceived her all her life, which is like weak and angry and just not on the right path, all of that. And then she wanted him to need her, okay? Just like when she was a little girl, she needed someone. And then she wanted to be the one to kind of ignore it and be like, whatever, you're no big deal, you're fine. that because she needed to know how it felt to sabotage in the way that she was sabotaged, but like she should have healed instead, right? Because obviously everyone has that choice, and this isn't to make an excuse for her, but like she had opportunities to know that this wasn't the right path and that she needed to take a different one, and she chose to ignore them every time. She chose to ignore them every time and take out her anger on basically whoever she was trying to use as a mouthpiece for her hate or for her bitterness or for her anger, because all it was to figure out what made her unlovable in the first place as a child, because she still felt trapped right where that energy left her. Trapped, no knowledge of how to get to the castle, bound, you know, it was kind of just like her remaking what happened to her so she could study it, but she wasn't consciously aware of this. It's almost like it was in her psyche or subconscious, and because of all the drugs that she was doing, it's like that became an obsessive compulsive thought that she like came back to the surface because of what she was doing. It wasn't her priority, but it came back to the surface because of what she was doing. And there's even a boat in the background, and like a longer boat too. So it's like ships sailing in that you weren't really expecting, because it's like she forgot it was back there in her psyche that she wanted to do this. And then especially when she was on substances, it's like she would remember this feeling and connect with it. And that's kind of what happened, is she took it a step too far with him. And as soon as she took it a step too far, she ran for miles, because it just unlocked what had been there the whole time. And she wasn't realizing that what had been there the whole time wasn't that she wanted to really commit the murder in this way, but that she wanted to study her pain. But in the moment, because of being on the substances and how her mind was reading the programming that was ingrained in there that was about what had happened during childhood, it's like it just snapped. It's like a computer trying to download like 10 times the amount of coding that's supposed to download, but like in an instant, and it just like, yeah. And it's like any type of rationalization is what fell away when that happened. It was like she found the truth of the matter, of like an itch that she couldn't scratch in her brain for years and years and years, because it's like she had this plan during childhood to figure this out so she could heal, but then she forgot about it over time, and then she got distracted and all this other stuff. And it's like when she was on substances, her brain would reconnect and like remember pieces of what she wanted to do to heal. And that's like why she would have these super close connections with anyone that she did substances with, because they were like, essentially she was studying them, I guess. The Emperor. Yes. Essentially she was studying them to be like, does this person work for my plan, to like use them to get them to need me so I cannot be there for them. Get them to need me so I cannot be there for them. Look, it's like someone sneaking up behind a woman with a baby. I almost wonder if that was part of her plan, was to get someone to get her pregnant so she could like remake her whole childhood situation. 3 of Wands reversed, Justice reversed, 2 of Cups. I think that's it. It's almost like she wanted someone to get her pregnant, be dependent on her, need her, and then let herself just be like, okay, I don't know. It like, yeah, Ace of Cups reversed. It's like I want to get back everything I feel like I lost, and my subconscious is like telling me how to do that. And when I'm on substances, I don't think, and I just follow whatever I think the instructions are, even if I'm not understanding. I don't think, and I just go, I floor it. 0 to 100. Just me. I'm only thinking about myself. 0 to 100. And look at this. This is the one where he's painting this picture, but in front of him is that. So he's not painting what he actually is seeing. So it's like she had this false reality that she was trying to concoct for herself, and it wasn't working. And look, it's like, it's almost like he was catching on to her plan and starting to shy away from her, and she was kind of out of time. And like, subconsciously she knew that. I know it does say X, so I'm assuming that they were starting to kind of like veer apart from each other, at least a little bit. And it's almost like she saw him as the perfect one for the position that she needed him to play, or the role that she needed. King of Pentacles reverse. She needed him to fall. She needed him to be the fall guy, so that like he could be the position of the man in her life who hurt her, but for the child that it seems like she was trying to trap him into making her be pregnant with. Betrayal strategy. And like taking something out of the safe. Yeah, it's like I feel like that's what the plan was, to get pregnant, have the person be dependent and need her. And then I honestly feel like she believed that when she got pregnant, she could just clean up from drugs and she'd be fine. And that the other person would still be dependent, and it would be like putting her in this position of power over the other person. High Priestess. Yes, that's what it is. She wanted to have that pull, that power, because then it's like, okay, well, now we have a kid together, so you need to be nice to me, you need this, you need that, and you're the one on drugs and I'm not anymore. Because she had it in her mind that she could just get clean, and I don't think that would have been the case, but that's what she thought. It's almost like she was trying to put someone in a trap to where they would have to have visitation of the kid or something like that. She needed someone to need her because no one ever needed her. The Star. She needed someone to need her because no one ever needed her. So it was kind of a trap, and either he had caught on or he was just like, I can't deal with this anymore. But either way, he was starting to back away, and she was kind of running out of time, but she had already done so much work to have him be the perfect one for this plan that it was like, I can't lose him now. And that's essentially where the rage came from. Taking him off of the stage. This is like taking him out of his life, right? Off of being able to be seen in the public. So it was like, I can't let you. It's truly a situation of, I've already molded you into the perfect person for the position that I need you to play in my delusional tale of healing. That's not going to work because you can't heal by hurting other people. But anyway, but she believed that was, I believe, allegedly, my opinion, what was going to happen. Yeah, and that's what she was working really hard to like lure him into, with like, oh look, I can do this for you and have this for you, and we can, you know, have a good time and just party and do all this stuff, and look, I'm so fun, I'm so great. And then it's like, okay, boom, now you're trapped, and then boom, now you need me and you can't get away. Now you need me and you can't get away. Standing right in front of his vehicle but can't go anywhere. So that's essentially what I'm seeing that it was. It's and in terms of, does that mean that I feel like was mentally not able to understand her actions? Absolutely not. I feel like she was fully able to understand her actions. Did she probably snap into a psychotic break after or as she was doing what she was doing? I believe so, yes. And why is because she needed him to be part of her plan. So it wasn't really anything even emotionally about him, but there was probably a point once she started that she did snap into a psychiatric break, I believe. But I don't believe when she started doing it that she was in one. I think she started and tried to see how close to the line she would be willing to actually go. And then kind of once she went there, and it's almost like she did something that took it a little too far and then couldn't go back and had to hurry up and kind of get the rest of it over with before he could really have a chance to fight back, because her against him, she wouldn't be able to win. So that's what it feels like. It feels like there probably was a psychiatric break, but not until after she realized, oh crap, I actually just really did this, and now I don't have that part of my plan anymore. Sun in reverse. Don't have that part of my plan anymore. There's even a child on the card. I don't have that part of my plan anymore. I can't trap him. I can't make him need me. I can't use a child as a pawn. Page of Cups, child card. I can't use a child as a pawn. And I almost feel like that's why like the drugs and sex were paired together, because it's like, I want to make sure that you get me pregnant. I want to make sure that you get me pregnant. And then that's how the man would look like, oh crap, because it's almost like he would have known right away that it was a trap. Ace of Swords in reverse. He would have known that whatever she was saying was like to lure him or to trap him or to trick him. Yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Is there anything else that we need to know? Six of Cups. Yeah, no, it all just goes back to the childhood. It all goes back, and that's not an excuse for her behavior. It's just kind of breaking apart her behavior so we can understand why it got to this point. And again, she did have opportunities, several opportunities to decide if she was going to heal or hurt other people, and each time she chose to hurt other people, knowing the repercussions that would come with it. Each time she chose the same thing. I'm going to go forward with continuing to hurt other people instead of healing myself. Let's just see a couple of these. We got debt. AI in reverse, collapse. Male in reverse, and abuse, neglect. So these plus debt. Oh, and the card was childhood that came out last. So during her childhood, there must have been some kind of money problems, and essentially that was the stressor for this male, who then basically took it out on her. And either she tried to tell people and they didn't believe her, or she just was too scared to tell people. But it does seem like she kind of kept it into herself. Is that correct? Accident. Oh, anytime there was any marks or anything, they would say it was just an accident. Yes, whenever someone saw something. What's behind this? Sad, yeah. Almost like there was mental health excuses made for the abuse that she was enduring. So she was actually enduring abuse, and they would just be like, oh no, it's mental health, we'll take care of it at home. And then it was actually abuse. Yeah, river flowing. And again, that's not an excuse, just an explanation of how we got to here, because obviously something went very wrong in her life. Next card. Market manipulation in reverse. Where are we going with this? Work in reverse. Oh, she started to remember. It's like she was trying to find a way to tell someone about the abuse when she was younger, and it does seem as though there was people who just kind of ignored her. Yes, social media in reverse, that's what it is. So I guess you could say, in a way, whoever back then just ignored her kind of started the ball that ended up being what she dropped. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to put it. Like, it's not their fault per se, but if there was more done back then and people wouldn't have maybe ignored her cries for help, not that this wouldn't have happened per se, but she would have had at least a better opportunity to go in a different direction. Yes, celebrity in reverse, different direction. The next card was imprisonment in a different direction. So what was her soul lesson from this? The law of compensation, give that which you seek. Yeah, that makes sense, because what she was given, she could have transmuted it or just passed it down as darkness and pain, and that's what she chose to do, is to not heal but to continue to hurt others because of her own pain. Actually, like literally because of her own pain, because she was doing it because of her pain, to set up the same situation so she could study it. But again, that was like a childhood plan, right? That just was in there and just grew and grew and grew and grew, but like in her subconscious. And that wasn't really fully accessed because of all the abuse and the trauma and the ignoring or suppression of emotion. So that part wasn't really accessed until she started doing the drugs. So that's kind of what made the mental break as much as it did. What was his soul lesson from this? What was Shad's soul lesson? The law of perfect health. Listen to the divine guidance within your body. Yeah, it's like his body was giving him signs to get away from her. That could be stuff he heard, stuff he saw, stuff he just felt, stuff he knew, right? But like, it's almost like it was slapping him in the face, and he knew that he needed to get away from her and that time was running short to like do so before it got to the point where like she would cross some kind of line. Like, it's almost like he saw it coming. Affluent. Oh, no. Affluent. Law of perfect health. Oh, the drug part of it. His part was to know that he needed to take better care of himself, mind, body, and spirit. Yes, got ya. My bad. It's both things that I just said. It wasn't not the first one. It was just that it was both of them. So he was getting signs and stuff to kind of get away from her, but at the same time, also about taking better care of himself, mind, body, and spirit. Correct. Yes. Okay. Both of them. And then also clarifying that she was part of the answer too. So we're just gonna end with one of these from Shad. Oh. Dearest you, since you're on Earth, you understand how buildings are built, yes? A good, solid foundation, and yet flexibility too in case of earthquakes. That's what she was an earthquake. Truth be told, you can't offer something sustainable unless it is built from a solid base, whether it be an idea that takes form one step at a time or an actual house that needs a sturdy foundation dug, poured, and built. We want to remind you of this because you might need a little encouragement to see this is true in your life at this time. Celebrate the fact that right now you can repair the cracks in the foundation of your life effortlessly, as well as do a general site check to ensure your hard work is being well supported. Do this and know you are building your life on a perfect and solid foundation that will allow you to welcome the many miracles waiting to come visit. So yeah, it goes back to the solid foundation that she never had, and it was like not able to build one because of her unwillingness to learn how to build one, and him not really knowing how to build one either to some extent. And yeah, I have home here, false flag in reverse, so true flag from the home, fear in reverse. So essentially he's saying, I wish I wasn't afraid to just cut her loose when I knew that I needed to, because I realized that I knew I needed to for me, because she was bringing out the worst in me and not the best in me. And I just wish I would have cut that off sooner. Yes, weird science. That's all for now. I guess if you have questions, let me know about this one, but I believe she's, I don't know if she was sentenced yet, was she? I don't know. I don't know if she was sentenced yet, but if you have questions, let me know. Please remember, this is an energy reading. It is all alleged, my opinion, not fact. Have a good day.